All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. It's Tuesday. It's been just a crazy day today. I hope you guys had a really good time. I wanted to kind of just talk about something real quick before we get started. The show has been doing um, just incredible. I mean, we've had some really amazing people come on, and I've noticed that our audience is growing. So I wanted to take just a few minutes and thank you guys for just being a part of what we do and chiming in and giving us your feedback and just being supportive of the show. It's just been awesome. Even yesterday with having Kat on the show, I noticed that we had a huge influx of people that has been watching the show. So I want to thank you guys for that. And I also wanted to let you guys know too, um, a really good way to help me out with the show and be able to get in front of a larger audience is if you guys will go to the actual YouTube channel and subscribe. And then while you're there, hit that notification button too. So as we have um, new people come in, you guys would be as soon as the shows drop. So, anyways, so there's two things that I want to do. So, I'm gonna put the link up for the YouTube channel. That way, if you guys could just go to that link and just hit the subscribe button. The second thing I want to do, and I did this yesterday. One of the people who's been one of I won't say one of our biggest supporters, but who has really helped out is my buddy Chris D. Roberts. Now Chris is becoming the unofficial bookie agent. He's always introducing me to people. So to pay homage to Chris, I want you guys to, this is Chris D. Roberts, I want you guys to go to his IMDb and help him out there too. Chris, was I interviewed Chris last year, and when he first started, Chris has been all over the place now. He's doing a lot of amazing things. I think the Mexican Connection that you see right there just came out today. But anyways, go check him out. And Chris, I know you're watching, so I want to say thank you. So Chris is actually the guy who introduced me to the guy I'm going to talk to today, and his name is Jimmy Fitz. So I'm pretty excited about having Jimmy on. I've been talking to Jimmy last week, and he's starting in the industry. So I'm going to bring him in. We're going to get to know Jimmy a little bit. What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. So, like I said, Robert's always hitting me up. He's like, hey, I want you to meet this person. I want you to bring this guy on the show. I want you, So he's actually the one who introduced me to a Pro Slacker.
Okay.
So now Pro and I run the show together. So Chris is an amazing guy. So welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited.
Now, Chris has been trying to hit me up. He's been hitting me up for a while. He was like, "Hey, look, I got a friend. His name's Jimmy Fitz. You got to get him on the show." He just started in the acting, but he's an amazing actor. With the stuff that he's been doing. So I'm like, okay, let's bring him on. Let's get to know Jimmy.
Yeah, man. He's a great guy, man. He's been helping me out tremendously, and posting stuff for extras for a few films that I've been able to be a part of, and just a really, really nice guy. I got to work with him, on Poker Night, Dylan Swan's short film for the OIF. But yeah, man, Chris is a great guy, man. I really appreciate him.
Cool. So we're going to take a minute here. Hold on, let's see. I'm going to see who. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to take a minute and let's get to know a little bit about you. So we'll kick it off with you know, one of the things I always ask my guests when they come in is, kind of tell us where you were born and raised, and what was life like for Jimmy growing up.
Man, I grew up in Bradenton, Florida,
Okay.
and it was life was pretty good back growing up. Used to run around with all my friends playing football and baseball all day, and I've always been into sports. My parents were amazing parents. My dad, he was always there through all of the sports I played.
Right.
Get off of work early and come watch me practice every day. And my mom is just an amazing woman. Man, she's been there for me throughout so much. But yeah, man, Bradenton, growing up was a really good place, man. All my family for the most part is there, and we were always together, for family functions and holidays and stuff, man. It was really good childhood, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, when you were, as you were growing up, you were into sports. So did you play football in like high school or?
Yeah, so I started off playing little league baseball, and I was pretty decent baseball player too. But I ended up playing all the way up through my junior year of high school. Started playing football in high school. I played at Bradenton Southeast High School. Anybody knows about Bradenton Southeast? We were pretty damn good. We were back-to-back state champions. My freshman year was the second state championship, and we were number one in the nation. That was my freshman year. But yeah, we my senior year we had like 13 guys went Division 1A.
Oh wow!
And I ended up going to University of South Florida on a full ride scholarship.
Oh wow!
So go ahead.
I know that you're doing like acting now. Was football like your big passion at the time? I mean, was that something you wanted to go pro on?
Yeah, I wanted to be a professional football player since I could remember.
Right.
I think I have pictures, as a toddler holding a football,
Right.
And just turned out that I was actually pretty good at it.
Right.
Although I do got to tell you a story. Like my first day of high school football, the first day we had on football pads, I got knocked on my ass like twice in a row.
Oh wow!
And right after we went to water break, my dad happened to be there, and I'm like, Dad, I don't think I want to play football no more. And he's like, well, it's too late now. You already started, and you're going to finish it. From that day on, man, I was like, if I'm going to be playing, I'm not going to get my ass kicked every day.
Right. So, like when you were younger, were you a big kid? Like, were you?
Yeah, I've always been a pretty big boy.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a lineman. I played offense and defensive line. Since high school, I actually played both ways. I never came out of the game except for kickoff team.
Oh wow!
So I was Iron Man pretty much the whole game. We scored a lot of touchdowns, so I got like 7 or 8 plays off a game probably.
Oh wow! So going in from being into sports, what kind of led you into going and deciding to do acting?
Well, I ended up getting signed with the New York Giants after playing at USF. I signed as a free agent 2002, and I found out I had psoriatic arthritis. My hips were beat up pretty good from it, and so I ended up getting released. And so I came back home. I was living in Tampa.
Right.
I ended up marrying one of the cheerleaders from USF. Oh. We had a house in Tampa and all. So I ended up coming back from New York. And my brother-in-law at the time actually, he had gotten asked to be in an NFL Sunday Ticket commercial, and he couldn't make it. So he asked me if I wanted to go, and I went
right.
to the agency and ended up, they ended up casting me in the
Oh,
commercial.
wow.
So that was my first kind of little taste of acting, and I loved it.
Right.
Although I didn't do it again for quite a while. That first taste was awesome. I loved it.
Cool. This is kind of one of the questions that I always have. You have, a lot of these athletes that, either retire or they end up getting hurt playing professional football or any sport anyway. And then, they're trying to find that next, thing to get into. I think like people like Donald Driver, Emmitt Smith. You see these guys that's like Emmitt Smith. He's done everything he could do in football. And then when he retired, it was like I watched him go through like different types of jobs, trying to find like kind of where he fits in. What's that like? So you're growing up, you're playing football, you're doing the things that you really love to do. And then, when it comes that time where you're unable to do that, and you have to do, find, I don't say another passion, but, kind of find another thing besides the things you love doing.
Yeah.
What's that like? I mean,
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, for me, I honestly had a really tough time. After being let go from the Giants, I did play arena football for a year for the Arena 2 Florida Firecats in Fort Myers, Florida.
Right.
But I really struggled, and was having a lot of issues with the hip pain and that stuff, and
right.
I ended up getting into like the automotive repair business, and
okay.
I did pretty good with that, and I liked knowing about cars and fixing cars and stuff. Although I was more of like a shop manager, a service manager,
right,
for them. But I tell you, man, I was really lost for a long time, and with having the hip pain and stuff, and it's kind of along the lines somewhat similar with like Chris's story. But I ended up like going to a pain doctor and ended up getting pain medication prescribed to me, and eventually I ended up getting addicted to pain medication, and took me down a long, a lot of years of addiction.
Wow. So going through that, because especially with these athletes that get injured, I think a lot of them end up going kind of that route. How was you able to kind of overcome some of that? What was able to to help you get out of that and get into like kind of what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, not to like promote any 12-step programs or anything like that, but I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous, man. I do meetings, and I have a sponsor, and work steps and do that stuff, man. And honestly, that's the only thing that's ever been able to help me stay clean since accepting that I was an addict.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a daily thing, man. It's not really like a getting over it. I gotta just take it day by day, and I'm coming up on November will be 4 years.
Okay, wow.
Clean again, yeah. I've had several years at time. I've relapsed a few times, but I'll be coming up on 4 years clean in November again.
Cool. When I interviewed Mark Cuban's brother, Brian Cuban, and Brian struggled with addiction for a long time. I don't know if you've seen Brian's interview, but if you get a chance, go back and look at it. Yeah. Brian, you look at Mark Cuban's story, and Brian's is like completely opposite of Mark Cuban of all the stuff that he went through. And he said the same thing. He's like, you never fully come out of an addiction. You're just trying to make it day by day, not going back to it. You know what I mean? And he was sober for a while now, but he was telling me, just all the things that he went through, and he was addicted for probably, I want to say like 30 years. Like he was, it was a long time. So,
Yeah.
And, and then what made it kind of worse is that because he was brothers with Mark Cuban, he was able to get into all these parties and do, all these things just by being Mark's brother. So all the stuff was easily accessible to him. I mean? Yeah. So that was tough. But and I think too, when you're talking about this, that I can see how easy it is for an athlete, especially once they get injured, to get hooked on, the pain medication. So let me ask you, what are some of the things that you learned during that time that kind of helped you?
Oh, man. I can't do everything by myself, for one. Everybody needs help. Because I thought I was, the biggest, baddest, strongest, smartest, person on the planet. And no matter how smart, strong, or, any of those things, I thought I was, man, I couldn't beat addiction by myself.
Right.
And it took, support from my family. And honestly, it really, really took, me just getting beaten down so much. And, that I was finally willing to change and to, stop using. And it took me a few times of relapsing and stuff to realize that, I can't do, one of anything that's, mood or mind altering.
Right.
I can't touch it because, it just doesn't work for me.
Right. So let me ask you this. When you're going through that, was there like a specific moment that made you, like come to the realization that you got to change this, that you got to turn this situation around?
Man, there's a lot of them, but I remember, using before I'd go to sleep, and I was praying that God would take me while I was asleep, because I didn't want to live the way I was living anymore, and so there was some pretty dark days, man, and
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful to be on the other side of that.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this: like, if somebody's going through this, that kind of situation, what advice would you give them?
Man, quit fighting, quit fighting it. Get some help. I had to go to a treatment facility. I had to be somewhere where I was safe and not locked up like a jail, but it's secure in there. You can't just leave. And be able to get through the rough time at the beginning. So going through a program and being in a safe spot, and somewhere that could provide medical attention and all that stuff was tremendous. I tried to detox myself at home. I mean, hundreds of times probably. And I could never do it on my own, like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I that's you brought up a good point, because there's some people that I know who kind of struggle with that, and that's kind of what they tell me. They're like, oh, I can stop anytime I want, and and I'm able to detox myself. When I decide I don't want to do it, I could just go quit cold turkey, but does that really work? I mean, is that person in denial, or is it?
I mean, I've seen people do it. I heard people doing it. I mean, they're a better person than me, because I mean, I would make it 2 or 3 days, and that would be about it. I couldn't stand it anymore. So I mean, the only way I could do it was being locked in somewhere where I couldn't leave. I couldn't call nobody. I couldn't do anything. I just had to get through it. And once you kind of get through that hard part and like you start feeling a little bit better and you can eat again, and like you're not getting sick, and all those things, man, it's it's definitely everything brightens up. It's a lot better. They call it riding the pink cloud,
Right.
Yeah.
So now that you've been sober for 4 years, and then moving in to kind of away from sports, have that opportunity to do the commercial and kind of get a taste of the acting, getting bit by the acting bug, I guess you want to call it. How has that kind of changed your perspective and what you're doing now?
Man, like having been like a part of a team, and being close with a tight knit group of people, and that, in my experience so far in this area, with the film industry, man, like I've met some really, really amazing people in this area. I mean, pretty much everybody I've met throughout Florida so far that are in the film industry have just been great. I mean, everybody is so helpful. They try to lift everyone up. I mean, just an amazing group of people. I feel like, they're some of my closest friends now.
Right. And that's another thing too, being in Florida where you're at. There's, there is an amazing community out there, with, we were talking about it before you came on, with Heather Friendly and Preston. And then you got, people like Chris, Jonathan Montez. I mean, that whole group out there. Have you met Bobby Washington and Cindy yet?
I have not met Bobby. We're friends on Facebook, and I've commented on some stuff back and forth and stuff with him. But about the Seven Roses film, and
right,
that was good. That was a good movie.
Yeah, I was just telling them, they just released that on Tubi, and I've been interviewing them for like different actors from that, Rex, all of them. For almost a year before that movie came out. They did the premiere. I think it was in January. I wish I could have came out to it. I'm in Texas, so. But so I finally got to see it. So I've actually told Bobby, I went back and watched that thing like 3 times now. So yeah, he did an awesome job with it. But I was saying that where you're at right now, you're with such an amazing group out there, and you've already done a couple of films, right? With Heather, and let's talk about that. So let's talk about some of the films that you've gotten to be able to do.
Okay. I mean, Heather and Preston gave me my first opportunity, and As We Fall, man, what great people they are, and giving someone an opportunity like me that doesn't really have any experience, and even like as an extra, man, I'm really appreciative of that. And Dylan Swan, the short film Poker Night for the Orlando Independent Film Festival or Film Challenge. Sorry. I was an extra for Cabin for Junior Squad Strikes Again. And I just was in as an extra Sunday night. I was with Arena Cooper for a film called Scarred.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
you're So how long have you been acting so far?
Well, that first As We Fall, the first episode we filmed in December.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's only been like 4 or 5 months, I guess.
See, that's crazy. And you've done what, like 5 films already? Like
I guess is it 6? Because one's a secret. We can't give any details on it yet.
Right.
But we filmed that Saturday night, and it's a secret thing, so can't release any details on it. But
Right.
it'll be pretty cool when everybody sees it.
Cool. That's what I always joke around with the guys out there is that like even Jonathan Montez, that guy's probably been in about 50 movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's killing it too.
Yeah, and then Chris is watching right now. He's on his way. He said he's on his way back from Miami.
Yeah.
Chris, how many films have you done so far since we talked? I'm gonna ask him. This dude, like when we first started, he only did, I think, maybe two or three, maybe when we first started. And now Chris is all over the place.
Yeah.
Heather was the same way. Heather Frayling, when I met her, she'd only been acting for maybe a year. So Chris said he's been in 24 films.
24.
Yeah, and that's we did the interview like last year. So it's just funny how out there, in Florida, how fast they just crank out these different movies. So a year from now when I'm talking to you, like you're gonna have another 50 movies under your belt.
I'm hoping.
Right. So let me ask you this: is there a particular role that you would love to do?
A particular role? My grandfather was he actually came to United States from Norway when he was a young man. So as you can tell, I kind of like the Viking kind of thing.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say you look like you would do like the Vikings,
yes.
or maybe Game of Thrones.
Yes, I'd love to do like a Viking film and also vampire films. I love vampire films.
Cool. I'll introduce you to some friends of mine. So I have a friend who's in Holland. His name is Miso Lopez Caradoza, and he played one of the kings in the Vikings on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
And he was also in Game of Thrones. He did a sword fight scene in Game of Thrones. I'll send you some pictures of him too. I mean, dude, just every day he just looks like a Viking. I mean, he's got the long beard. He's a sword fighter. He actually got knighted while he was in Holland. Crazy. But I want to. I'll send you. I'll help get you to link up with him too.
Yeah, please do. That'd be awesome.
And then you're talking about the vampire movies. I used to interview Sean Cronin, and Sean he plays like the lead bad guy in a lot of films. He was in like The Mummy. He was in 3 Mission Impossible movies. I'm trying to think. Harry Potter. He's all over the place, but he just wrapped up in the UK a vampire movie.
Nice.
So he's a director. He's an actor and a director. So yes. So yeah, I wish that I would have done the interview earlier. But he was doing auditions like last month for the vampire movie out in the UK. That was fun. But anyways, he's about to do a film here in the States. He's going to be in New Mexico in September. So I have to see what kind of film he's doing. He does all kinds of films. So
yeah.
But anyways, I'll hook you up with those guys, and maybe you catch a role with one of them.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Is there a particular like actor that you would love to work with?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah, a little fight scene with The Rock would be great.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be like him and Vin Diesel, or
yeah. Hey, I have both of them.
Right.
I'll take them both on.
Cool. So let's see. I'm looking at some of these comments. New Lake Creations. She said she met you on Junior Squad.
Yeah.
the Junior Squad Strikes Back, and then she said Chris is so fly. So
who was that?
This is new lead creation. Trying to see who. And new lead, put your name on there so I can tell Jimmy who you are. Seriously, what's on there? But yeah. So what's of all the films you've done so far? What's been your favorite?
Definitely Poker Night.
Poker Night.
Yeah, we had a good cast in there. You know, and it's the most screen time I've gotten to. So
right.
Yeah.
You know, as this you know, as you keep progressing and doing these movies, you know, like I said, you know, out there in Florida, they just crank out movies so fast. You have so many people doing those films. Because you have Bobby and Cindy who's doing stuff. You got Heather and Preston who's doing stuff. You have Jasmine just started getting in. Jasmine Vasquez started doing some. Shanita Brown. I'm trying to think who else. There's tons of them out there, man. I just interviewed Kat Sokolich yesterday.
Yeah.
So you got to keep an eye on her because she's a up and coming filmmaker out there. So the more that the more people that you meet out there, the more opportunities, and you know the bigger roles that you'll be able to get out there. So I'm confident, man. I'm confident that a year from now you're going to be a lead actor in some film. You're going to have like 50 films underneath your belt.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Yeah. Every film that I go to, like, it seems like, you know, I end up with like 2 or 3 more opportunities, like, you know, just meet more and more people. And then,
right.
You know, by the time the film's done, you know, I got 2 or 3 people tell me, I got something you'd be great in, or, you know, I could use you for this, or, you know, and it's been out like, I met, you know, Jose Batista and Keith Driver, you know, on Poker Night, and Jose A. Roldan Jr.
Oh,
Make sure I get that correct. But yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy. Just you know, so I just been trying to you know, take in every opportunity that, you know, that I can get. You know, audition for as many roles as I can. You know, outside of me working, you know, trying to schedule stuff on my days off and for my regular job, and you know, maybe one day I'll be able to pay the bills with acting.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. One of the things that I really like, and that I kind of appreciate after the pandemic, if there's a silver lining to anything after the pandemic, is that I think that it really helped the independent film industry. Because once the pandemic, I started seeing like a huge influx from the independent filmmakers. And they're putting out, there's a lot of them just putting out really good films. And one of the things too that I like about the independent filmmaker is I feel like that their projects are more, they're more original.
Yeah.
You got the big production companies that's always cranking out the same things over and over. They got the big budget for it and all the special effects and all that. I get that. That's where the money, But I think creativity-wise, that the independent film, just cranks out like just really good original films. So, I was going to tell you, Knowledge Creation. That's actually Erica Wade.
Yes. Yeah, I got to work with her twice, and she's on The Secret.
You got
the secret deal with me too.
Right. So she played Rose number 4 in Seven Roses too.
Yes, I saw her on that too. Yeah, that was the first thing I said to her when I see her. I was like, "Hey, you were on Seven Roses."
Right. And that right there is one of the reasons I really like Seven Roses too, is because as I was watching it, I'm like, I recognize almost everybody on it. The majority of the people that's on it, I've had actually on the show. So at some point, Erica, I gotta get you on the show too. I know Erica is actually one of our faithful viewers on for this show too. So I definitely got to bring her in and get to know her and hear her story too. So
yeah, she's awesome. Really sweet. Yeah.
Cool. So let me ask you this: so if if somebody's like trying to get into acting, who's just starting, what kind of advice would you give them?
Don't give up. Just audition. Audition for as many roles as you can, and get some experience. Like I haven't been looking, to get paid for anything I'm doing right now or anything like that. I just want to get some experience under my belt and feel out the different sets and how sets work and
Right.
the culture and kind of get a feel for what I'm doing and learn from people.
Right.
Take advice from the people that have been doing this for a while, like Dennis Mallon.
Right.
I met him on poker night, and I sometimes I'll message him and ask him about a few things but I really just getting as much experience as I can, and putting in as much time and hard work as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you thought about going to like a school, or is there like a particular method that you like to use to try to hone in on your acting? Or
I've never been trained in any kind of way in acting or anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of so far I've just kind of been me.
Right.
And if people like my look and they get to experience me on a set, and can kind of be me, and if I'm what they like, then
Right.
So definitely would like to do some formal training and try to learn as much as I can. And everything that I've ever done, sports and all that stuff, like I'm the kind of person, like I got to be the best at everything I do.
Right.
And it can be good or bad because you don't want to overdo things, but it also took me to the heights of being in the NFL and being a professional football player, and not everybody's got the dedication and sacrifice and the hard work to get to those areas. So
Cool. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you to have you on the film or to see some of your current projects, how would they do that? What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Right now I have an IMDb page,
Okay.
Set up. So I got my information's on there, and the credits for the films I've done so far. Other than that, I just signed up for a casting agency called 99. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I've heard of.
Yeah, but see how that does. If it brings me some more opportunities, and I may stick with that. It's not like having an agent, so I don't have to pay any kind of agency fee or whatever. It's like a monthly thing, and I have no idea if it's even worth doing or not. Some of the other people that maybe have heard of it can let me know.
What,
I just
what's it called? 999?
99. Yeah, it's NINE and then the number 9.
Okay.
99. So yeah, I mean, if anybody's had experience with them and didn't like it, let a brother know.
And so what I'll do too is I'll put some links to your social media in the detail section of this video. So as if somebody's wanting to reach out to you, to have you come on and be an actor in one of their projects, they'll have a way to reach out to you, and they'll also be able to see some of the things that you've worked on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
So now I want to say too, because I've probably interviewed, I want to say 3 or 4 people who, when I asked them the question about what type of film they want to be in, who said they want to do a Viking.
Yeah.
They want to be in a Viking movie. So I know at least 3 or 4 people that'll do it. So I'm going to tell people like Bobby, Heather, any of them out there. If you guys are thinking about it, go do a Viking. Do a time period movie like from the Viking era. And me, that's kind of movies I love. I love timepiece movies.
Yeah.
Like the whole Roman Empire, Vikings, Game of Thrones, things that are timepiece, films. Those are really awesome. So, anyways, so if you guys are thinking of an idea for a film, do that, and then hit up Jimmy and bring Jimmy on and give him a leading role.
Yeah, everybody that I've met on the sets are always like, "Man, you got to do a Viking film."
Oh, that reminds me too. That Rex McSeaton, he just got to change his hair too, and he too. So that's another person. So, anyways,
yeah, he was amazing in Seven Roses, man. Like, he killed it.
Yeah, and that's why I said too. Of all the the actors in that, Rex made that thing happen. I mean, with the role that he played, he was incredible. And that's another thing too. I noticed that when I bring in actors who have been like they play villains in the movies, and now some of it's a pro too. Like Sean Cronin, Olivia Disney. She played like a psychopath in a movie called Masquerade. James Stokes, who plays Voorhees, Jason. Bring these guys in, Rex. Bring these guys in. They're always the nicest people. The nicest people. Then you see them in the film, and then they're these villains, and I'm like, there's no way. But Rex was super cool too. So, but yeah, he absolutely killed that stuff.
Yeah, love that.
So, all right, man. So, thank you so much for being on the show. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to get to know you. And then, we'll put your social medias, like I said, in the detail section. And then, I'm looking forward to it. I know that you're in a place where you can, your career's going to shoot through the roof. So you have some awesome people out there. You have, just the most creative people and the most supportive. That's the other thing, that everybody out there, is always trying to help each other. So, I can tell you right now, a year from now, when we, it'll probably be more, not a year, but so let's say 6 months from now, we're coming in here. I guarantee you're going to have probably at least another 15 or 20 movies under your belt by then.
I would love it. I hope so.
We'll talk about all those too. So, well, cool, man. Again, thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it, and taking the time and having me on. I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Go and as the movies are released, make sure you're checking out Jimmy's films. And and if you're if you're a filmmaker out there, definitely get this guy. get this guy into some of your films. So until next week, guys, or the next episode, remember, you're uniquely designed with a purpose, and always keep moving forward. Peace.
Thanks.